Chosen by God by Sproul. It has been a quarter of a century since I first penned Chosen by God, and in the ensuing years I have had several surprises about this work. When I first wrote it, I had the sense that I was writing to the choir. That is, I doubted very much whether people who were not already convinced of the Reformed doctrine of election would trouble themselves by reading this particular work. And so I thought, it's worth my time to write it, if only for the benefit of those who already are convinced of the doctrine and who need a little deeper understanding of election and how to articulate it to others. As things turned out, I have been astonished by the response of the general public to this book. Literally, thousands of people have indicated to me, either personally or by letter, that it has served to change their thinking and convince them that the Reformed view of election is indeed the biblical view. They've come to agree with Spurgeon's sentiments that Reformed theology is only a nickname for biblical Christianity. But not everyone who reads this book has been persuaded by its posture. I've already had another surprise with respect to some who have read it and another book of mine called The Holiness of God. Of all the books that I've published, it has had the widest distribution. What I have heard frequently from people who read about the holiness of God and Chosen by God is this. They tell me that reading the holiness of God changed their lives by giving them an epiphany of the majesty and grandeur of God. They say they loved the book and the awakening that they have experienced in reading it, yet at the same time they found Chosen by God somewhat distasteful in comparison. When people tell me that, I really respond by saying, I think that either you don't understand what I'm saying in the holiness of God, or you haven't understood what I say in Chosen by God. God's holiness encompasses his sovereignty, and we cannot drive a wedge between the two. We may distinguish them, but never separate them. My hope for those of you who are reading this book for the first time, or those who are rereading it in its update version, is that you will come not only to be persuaded of the truth of the doctrine of election, as expounded by the Reformers, but that you will see the sweetness of it and come to love it, and see how it opens wide to our understanding the whole dimension of the grace and mercy of God. Martin Luther said to Erasmus in the 16th century that if you don't embrace sola gratia, that is, salvation by grace alone, you haven't comprehended sola fide, justification by faith alone. The two are twin towers of the Bible understanding of salvation, sola fide and sola gratia, which together drive us to the final sola de gloria. R.C. Sproul, 2010.